Check that out. Grooves in the rotor. Wow, those are bad. Middle specs. Okay, with the park and brake set, we're going to take a T40 Torx and just loosen that bolt, holding everything in place. I'm going to give it a little test with it. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That came off. Check it out. More metal specs. Those shoes must be in terrible shape. Okay, so we're on the back side of the brake caliper now. Okay. The first two bolts come off with a 13. I'm going to put a deep set on here because of that bracket being right in the way. Got one up here, one down here. Got an S-hook off of an old bungee cord. Seems to do a really nice job supporting that. You don't want to let it hang. Could damage the hydraulic tube or even the park and brake cable, who knows. 15mm holding the bracket in place. 2 bolts, 1, 2. Two 15mm bolts with blue Loctite. Hold on the bracket. We're gonna slide it right up out of there. Okay, so there's the driver's side rear brake pad bracket. Wow. Those are the shoes right there. Ford's multi-point inspection kind of missed that one. Pretty bad. Okay, we're going to put on Wherever Platinum. This was the best rear brake option that the park store had to offer, so we're going to go ahead and try these out. Okay, now that we got these all cleaned up with our wire brush, we want to make sure those pads slide through there nice and easy. We're going to put some of this grease that came with the brake pads right in the grooves there. That'll help you get them in and also help them slide and function a lot better. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and slide the pads in. Okay. Got the shim on the outside, pad on the inside. Just like that. There we go. Got them as far back in that bracket as I can without having them fall out. That way I've got plenty of wiggle room when I slide them around the rotor. Okay, now we're gonna swap the rotors here. So I got a T40 Torx. Okay, and there it is. Check out all that rust. Woo! Silty roads. There we go, one rotor. Off. Old rotor, new rotor. Yeah, you can definitely see the old one's worn down. Definitely rusty. So the new rotors came with a nice layer of grease. So we're going to wipe that off. Then we'll give it a shot of brake cleaner to help it out a little bit more. Okay, I got some old anti-seize here. Going to put the anti-seize right on the hub there. Any place that comes into contact with the rotor. He said. Okay, so we got to rotate that back in. Got a nice brand new tool to do this with. So what you got is a tire tool that's got a whole bunch of different configurations for multiple types of... Okay, so I just made a depressing discovery. Okay, so the good news is I delayed doing this job by 2 days while I waited for this universal tool to come in. The bad news is the cylinder compressor here is so rusted that it doesn't quite fit. So I'm sure it would have worked really nicely when it was brand new, but this thing's a long time from brand new. So fortunately my vice grips just fit on there, so I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can do the same thing with my vice grips. Yeah, seems to be working. Okay, now I got a problem. That boot is not supposed to be turning. The boot's supposed to slide up and down. The boot protects the cylinder. I do not want that one to turn, so I'm going to try and loosen that up a little bit and try and separate the two of them. Hook up a tube to a container to catch any drained brake fluid. .7/16 wrench for the bleeder. Gonna tighten that up before I forget about it. There we go. Plug is on, back in place. Just gotta finish tightening up these bolts. That's alright, 13 deep for these. Okay, and we are basically done. The only thing left to do now is put the tire on and push on the brakes a few times to bleed out the air, and we're good to go. Okay, the reservoir is located right under the hood. The cap reminds you that you only want to use DOT3 brake fluid. DOT3 brake. There's a little note on the side here that says the mini-max level. So I'm going to top it off until I'm close to that max. I know it took a pretty good amount out when I was bleeding the brakes, so I want to make sure I put it back in. Okay. Job is done.